Hey there, I'm Brittni Schroeder, and business and marketing are my jam. I'm here to walk you step by step through this crazy thing we call business. I'm a small town girl, chocolate eating, Diet Coke drinking mom, marketing guru, automation Jedi, and all around good time. This is your weekly dose of all things business and life, sprinkled with some fun. This is the Redefine Business Podcast. Welcome to another episode of Redefine Business Podcast. A few months ago, I posted an Instagram reel. And in that reel, I was talking about the scam that's out there. And that scam being is if a coach or an agency is promising you big results with no work, they're not good at what they do. They're good at scamming. And I was talking about this with a colleague of mine the other day, and we were talking about how there's so many things out there, so many contractors out there, and these like get rich quick and no work and all of these things, and how that's a lot of times why entrepreneurs get burned out or they think they're failing because they're like, what am I doing wrong? There's, people are saying that they can do it, but is it reality? So I thought I would put together a podcast and I would talk about 5 things to look for and 5 red flags to avoid when you are hiring a contractor, a coach, an agency, anything for your small business. We all know that running a small business, it feels like we are in a constant juggling act. You know what I mean? While we're riding a unicycle, it just seems crazy. We have all these things to do. So you've got customers to serve, you have sales to make, and about 15,000 tabs open on your computer and in your brain at all times, right? So that's why hiring contractors or experts who can take things off your plate, like running Facebook ads or managing your social media or optimizing your SEO, can feel like just like the best gift ever, right? But here's the catch. Not all contractors are created equal. The right one can help you grow your business. The wrong one can drain your time, your budget, and sanity. So let's break down 5 green flags, the good stuff, and 5 red flags, the bad stuff, to look for when hiring contractors for your small business. So here's 5 things to look for in a contractor. A good contractor doesn't just do the work, but they explain what they're doing and why. Whether it's reporting on your ad spend, showing engagement stats, or laying out your SEO strategy, they should keep you in the loop without drowning you in all of their jargon, all of the words, and kind of overwhelming you with, I don't understand what you're talking. So they talk on your level, but they have really good communication. You don't need to have a crash course on the Google's algorithm, but you need clear, consistent updates in plain English. Also, with that being said, I do think it's important to kind of understand different parts of your business so that you know how to manage and you know that you're not getting taken advantage of. So again, you don't have to be an expert, but you have to have a base knowledge so you know that the people that you're hiring know what they're doing. Okay, the next thing is proven results. You wouldn't hire a hairdresser if she had bad hair, right? Or you wouldn't hire a personal trainer who's never lifted weights. So same goes here. A reliable contractor should have a portfolio with testimonials or case studies that show their work. For instance, a Facebook ad specialist might show you a campaign that generated leads at a low cost, or a social media manager might show you growth analytics from past clients. Results don't have to be flashy, but they should be real. And you have to be realistic. I have a client here. I'll give you an example of something that I could do. I have a client and I grew her email list to 15,000 in literally a month. Here's the caveat with that. She also had 1.3 million followers on social media. So I could say, I could give you that little bit of information, the 15,000, but not give you the rest of it. So it's really important that you know the examples, you know people, and you have like the numbers and they're honest and real. So that's something to pay attention to. One of the things that I have done too is back to testimonials. There's times where I have invested a lot of money in a program and I have gone to the testimonials and found the person, the name, and then reached out to them privately and asked them a few more questions, because I want to know the details, especially if it's a large amount of money to invest. But look for that with your contractors. Ask for testimonials, ask for reviews, ask for results. These are all really important. Okay, the next one is a contractor should care about your business goals, not just their own process. If your goal is brand awareness, but they only talk about conversion campaigns, you might be on a different page. Ask them how they would tailor their work to your specific objectives, whether that's growing an email list, boosting local visibility, or driving sales. So make sure that you are aligned. Okay, the next one is transparency in pricing and process. There should be no mystery fees or vague timelines. A trustworthy contract will explain what's included in their pricing, how often they invoice, and what deliverables you can expect. Clarity upfront helps avoid the headaches later. If you're running ads for you, for example, if somebody's running ads for you, they should be very clear about, hey, this is how much I charge, but this is how much your ad spend is going to be. These are two different fees so that you know what you're getting into. There is nothing worse than getting into something and then people saying, oh, no, you owe me this much money. It costs this much. So make sure that they are transparent and everything is like out and very clear on their pricing. Okay, the next one is adaptability and continued learning. Digital marketing changes so fast and the trends are constantly changing. So you want a contractor who is adaptable and stays up to date on what works now, not just what worked 5 years ago. Someone who can say the algorithm changed, here's what we're going to do differently, is worth their weight in gold. I do this. I have a Facebook ads girl that I use. I've taken a bunch of courses on Facebook ads and I understand them. I understand the analytics, but I am telling you, every time we get on a call and she helps me set up my ads, something has changed. And I have been in Facebook jail for years. So I always recommend finding somebody who is on top of the trends and staying up to date, because ton of these programs and algorithms are constantly changing, and you want somebody who is in it all the time, every day, and they know these things. Okay. So those are the green flags. Those are things to look for. Here are some of the red flags to watch out for. They guarantee specific results. If a contractor promises, I will get you 10,000 followers in a month, or I guarantee you'll rank number 1 on Google, that's when you throw the red flag, because that is not reality. No one can guarantee results in areas that depend on algorithms, audiences, and competition. Real professionals, real people who are like, do a good job, they set realistic expectations and they talk about strategy, not magic numbers. That is clickbaity. And if they're making these promises to you, more often than not, they are not for you. Okay. The next one is they can't explain what they're doing. If their explanations feel like decoding the Da Vinci Code or worse, and they dodge your question, that's a problem. You don't have to understand every technical detail, but you deserve to know the basics of where your money and time are going. So if they are talking to you and you need to bust out the thesaurus, probably I wouldn't trust them, and I would find somebody who can talk to you so you feel confident and comfortable. Okay. The next thing is they talk more about themselves than your business. Beware of contractors who only brag about their own brilliance, but don't ask about your goals, your target audiences, or your challenges. If they aren't interested in understanding your business, how can they create a strategy that fits? And it is not a one size fits all. I'm constantly talking to my clients about this, because I'll have people say, I don't want to be on social media. And I'm like, okay, you do not have to be. What do you feel comfortable with? Where do you feel good? Because there is no one size fits all. And so if a contractor is telling you that, or a coach, run, because it doesn't work for everybody. What works for one person doesn't work for somebody else. Okay. The next one is references or reviews. If a contractor can't provide any references, testimonials, or proof of past work, pause before signing anything. Well, everyone starts somewhere. Even newer contractors should have something to show, whether it's results from a pro bono project or training certificates or mock portfolios, whatever it may be, you want to have a reference or a review. I have started several businesses and I have done stuff for free just to get people results so I could have testimonials and reviews. If somebody is starting and they don't have any of that, then that is definitely a red flag. Okay, the next thing is they push for long contracts without trust built. If someone pressures you to sign a 12-month contract before they've proven themselves, beware. Long contracts can be appropriate, but only after you've worked together and built trust. A good contractor often offers shorter terms or trial periods first. I used to start with, when I worked one-on-one, start with 6 months, like 6-month contract. And then I changed it to 3 months, sometimes because people don't need more time, and others, it's like, I want to build that relationship and trust. And so I am like, this is a commitment, but not a huge commitment. So that's something that I actually do in my business. So just be mindful of that. You want to make sure that, especially if it's a big investment, that you really trust this person and you know that they are going to provide you with exactly what you are looking for. So here are ways that you can kind of protect yourself and your wallet when you're hiring a contract. Think of it as like dating. You wouldn't marry someone after the first date, right? Well, that's the same here, right? So start with a smaller project, test their communication, their quality, their reliability. Ask the right questions, like what metrics do you track? How do you measure success? How do you report back to your clients? Those are things that you should ask. Trust your gut. If something feels off, whether it's their attitude, their lack of clarity, or too good to be true promises, it probably is. Just keep all these things in mind. The right contractor can be a game changer for your small business, and it can free up your time so you can focus on what you do best. Look for clear communication, proven results, and genuine interest in your goals. Steer clear of these big promises and these shady processes and pressure tactics. Remember that you are not just hiring someone to do a job. You're bringing them in like they're a partner, and they're going to help your business. So choose wisely, and your investment will pay off in more visibility, more customers, and the whole lot less stress when you do it the right way. Again, look for people who you feel you really connect with, you trust them. These are people who will really help your business. I am a huge, huge advocate of hiring contractors and business coaches. It's been a game changer for me. And I've helped a lot of businesses grow and get really good processes and systems. And I believe in being honest and real in everything that I do, but look for those contractors, because I promise, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, but look for those people who you really trust. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Good luck out there, and I will see y'all next time. Let's not stop the party here. Head on over to my Instagram or Facebook group, Redefine Your Business, and let me know your thoughts about today's show. I will see you again, same time, same place, next week.